Hey guys, yeah, this is Paul here, Paul's Path. You know what's going on there. What am I doing every day? Today, obviously, I'm doing step 2. We did step 1 yesterday, so now step 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity, which implies that we were insane in step 1. But how were we insane? And only two reasons. Only two ways we were insane. We were insane when it came to drugs and alcohol. The book says in all other areas of our life we show good judgment. But when it comes to alcohol, when it comes to drugs, we're insane by taking that first drink. Okay? Knowing we're allergic to alcohol and drugs, and knowing that what happened to us over the last 5 to 10 years and we're about to take a drink again and talk ourselves into it, that's insanity. Okay? So now is step 2 saying believe in God? Or is, because if I could believe and trust in God in step 2 and really trust and believe in God, do I need the remaining 10 steps? And I would say step 2 is not believing in God. I would say it's believing that you can be restored to sanity through a higher power. Now, if you go to page 45, it says, where and how are we going to find that higher power? Well, that's exactly what this book is about. To find a higher power that will solve your problem. And obviously the main problem is the obsession. We can't do anything about the allergy. We talked about that. I have the allergy today. If I take a drink, I will not stop. I will get thirstier and thirstier and thirstier, like the water. Now, we do all of our work on the obsession. Okay? So that's where we do all the work. So step 2, it says God in there, but it says higher power in there, but it says we're only going to be restored to sanity, which means we won't even be thinking about the drinking and the drug, and we'll be comfortable in our own skin. We will finally find a solution. So it really says, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. So you just have to believe that you can be restored to sanity. Now, any AA meeting is evident anywhere across the world that we are being restored to sanity. Okay, so that's not hard to believe. As far as the higher power is concerned, how are we going to believe in a higher power, and where are we going to believe in a higher power, and how? So that's exactly what this book is about. If you go to page 55, it says that higher power, that God is deep down inside every man, woman, and child, but it's blocked by calamity and pomp and worship of other things. What are other things? Sex, social security, like the 12 and I could worship my girlfriend. I could worship money, I could worship my job, I could worship my reputation, prestige, running for president, like sex, social security. Those things could come before, they could be in between me and God. So you got to remove all that stuff so you can get to that diamond down below, so you can get to that higher power. Now, that's where we're going to find it. Okay, we're going to find out, that's where we're going to find it. And we're not going to find it at step 2. We're going to find it by working the remaining steps. That's how we're going to find that. It says that's exactly what this book is about. We're going to go through all the steps, and by the time you get to step 11, really, because step 12 says, as a result of the first 11 steps, we have a spiritual awakening. So by the time you get to step 11, you're going to find a higher power. You're not going to find it at 2. Now, how are we going to find that higher power? On page 58, it says how it works. How it works. I like to think, this is just for me personally, I like to see that title. I don't want to change it. I would like to see, instead of how it works, is how am I going to find the higher power or God that will solve my problem? That's the way I look at that page. You see? So if we do the work and we immediately make a decision in step 3, which we're going to talk about today, and we pick between insanity or death, or life on a spiritual basis, and there's no door number 3. Everybody with common sense that wants to live will pick door number 2. There's no door number 3, and nobody wants to go back to insanity or death. Okay, so we're going to get busy with the steps. We're going to make a decision in 3, which we'll talk about later, and that decision says it's a vital and crucial step, but it'll have no permanent effect unless followed at once by a strenuous effort to see and to look at, and the causes and conditions, and to see the things in us, the character defects that are blocking us from God. From God, basically, from God basically controlling our life, basically asking for his guidance. We can't do that if we're full of fear and shame and guilt. And we got to get to work at looking at these resentments and removing them. We got to get to work at looking at these fears and removing them. God cannot direct the body and mind full of resentments and fear and self-pity. And I know I said that twice, but it's important. So we get to work to remove that stuff so we're no longer restless and irritable and discontent, like I said in step 1. We're now restored to sanity. Okay, because we're not insane enough to take a drink of poison, because we're not restless and irritable and discontent to the point where we're that crazy to drink poison. So it's a very simple step if you think about it. And don't get stuck on it. Don't get stuck on the God thing. You're going to find the higher power later. You just have to believe you can be restored to sanity through the higher power that you're going to find by working the steps, you see. By working the steps. So don't spend too much time on step 2 thinking you got to believe in God. You will have faith when you get to step 12. You'll have faith that this thing works. And you bring that faith, and you'll bring that faith back to the new guy, and all he has to do is believe. And he'll start, if you don't believe, you won't do it. So he just has to believe you. And then he'll get working on the steps. And he'll find a higher power. And he'll have faith. And he'll take that faith, and he'll go back to another new guy. And that new guy only has to believe. And that's as simple as step 2 is. I love you all. I hope you all have a great day. And thank you for everything. Thank you for the donations. And you're helping me help others. That's all I can tell you. Thank you very much. Love you all.